Welcome to Whispers and Confessions. There might be a twist waiting, so please make sure to watch until the end. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's begin right away.
Hey there. I'm Brody, a 34-year-old office worker who loves unwinding with my buddy Jason after a long day at work. We clicked during onboarding, thanks to his upbeat personality. Having such an awesome coworker is honestly one of the main reasons I stick around at this company. Since we're both single, we keep each other company and share our ups and downs. Let me tell you about how my ordinary life took an unexpected turn when I stumbled upon a little slice of heaven. It started out like any other day. "Hey Brody, up for grabbing a drink?" Jason asked in a hushed voice. "Sure thing, but let's keep it light. We've got work tomorrow." "Deal, just enough to help us unwind." With that settled, we wrapped up our work in record time. Once we clocked out, we hit the streets, chatting about everything under the sun, from office drama to personal stuff. As the drinks started flowing, Jason steered the conversation toward our love lives, giving me a curious look. "Come on, Brody, level with me. Is there someone special in your life right now?" I let out a heavy sigh and shook my head. "Nah, not really. I mean, there are plenty of great women at work, but it's tricky, you know? Plus, I can't help thinking about how messy it could get if things didn't work out." Jason fiddled with his beer glass and admitted quietly, "Yeah, I get that. I'm kind of scared of getting too close to anyone myself." "Tell me about it," I nodded. I always end up playing it safe, thinking 10 steps ahead. Suddenly, Jason's expression turned serious. "You know what, though? Just once, I want to experience that crazy, all-consuming kind of love. The type where you throw caution to the wind because you want someone so badly." I couldn't help but crack a wry smile. "Man, I doubt that's in the cards for guys like us." "Yeah." Jason trailed off, his eyes distant. "Wonder if there's someone out there who could change our minds?" We exchanged knowing looks and shared a laugh, but there was a hint of sadness behind our smiles. In all my years, I'd never experienced that kind of intense, heart-stopping love. Sure, I'd had my share of relationships, but nothing that left me completely devastated when it ended. Breakups were tough, but time always seemed to heal those wounds, and I could look back on past relationships without too much regret. Here I was at 34, having never felt that legendary passionate love, and honestly doubting I ever would. Before we knew it, the evening was wrapping up. "Hey, we've got work tomorrow, but we really overdid it," I said to Jason, who was swaying slightly. "Ugh, so much for taking it easy. Let's grab some water from the convenience store." "Good call." We stumbled into the nearest store, grabbed our water, and headed to check out, but the counter was empty. The employee was probably in the back room. "Hello?" I called out, raising my voice a bit. "Just a moment," a woman responded, and then she appeared from the storage area. My breath caught. Her long brown hair was pulled back in a way that was absolutely stunning. "Wow," I thought, "she's gorgeous." Jason clearly shared my sentiment because he blurted out, "Miss, you are absolutely beautiful." The woman's expression showed her discomfort. "Jason, come on, man. You're drunk. You're making her uncomfortable." I jumped in, noticing her unease. "But she is." "Maybe so, but that's not cool." I hurried him along to pay, while the woman watched our exchange with a hint of amusement. "I'm really sorry about my friend," I apologized, ducking my head apologetically. "Don't worry about it," she replied with a kind smile that lit up her whole face. Once outside, I smacked Jason's shoulder. "Seriously, what were you thinking?" "My bad," he mumbled, chugging the water I'd handed him. Without another word, we headed our separate ways. Back home, still slightly buzzed, I couldn't get the convenience store clerk out of my mind. She really was beautiful. That smile. She must have guys lining up to date her. I drifted off to sleep with her image in my thoughts. The next morning, I got up earlier than usual and got ready for work. As I passed by the convenience store, I found myself wondering if she was still working. Since I had some extra time, I decided to pop in. Sure enough, there she was behind the counter. I grabbed some breakfast items and approached her. Hey, I wanted to apologize again for my friend last night. She looked up at me, recognition dawning in her eyes. Oh, right, you're from last night? Yeah, I nodded, feeling suddenly shy. Really, it's fine. The compliment just caught me off guard. Her cheeks flushed slightly as she smiled, and I was struck again by how beautiful she was. Heading to work? She asked warmly. Yeah, I replied, trying to keep my cool. Are you finishing up soon? I ventured, hoping to keep the conversation going. Actually, yes, she answered with that same friendly smile that was quickly becoming my favorite sight. After our brief chat, I left the convenience store with butterflies in my stomach. While it wasn't exactly love at first sight, Olivia was undeniably gorgeous, and her smile was absolutely captivating. I found myself hoping we could get to know each other better. From that day on, I made it a habit to occasionally stop by the store to say hello. I couldn't help feeling a little down when she wasn't working, but seeing her there would instantly brighten my day. Olivia clearly remembered me too, and would always welcome me with that radiant smile of hers, saying, "Hi there. Hope work's treating you well today." We started having these little chats that gradually became longer and more personal. Her name was Olivia, and she seemed to be in her late 30s. There was something magnetic about her constant smile and natural beauty, and I found myself more drawn to her with each interaction. After a few months of getting to know each other, I finally worked up the nerve to make a move. Hey, I know this might seem a bit forward, but here's my business card. I'd love to stay in touch, I said, handing her my card. Even though we'd been chatting regularly at the counter, I was worried I might be overstepping. But I knew I had to take that leap. Nothing was going to happen if I just kept things as they were. While I couldn't say I was head over heels yet, I was definitely intrigued and wanted to explore where this might lead. Thanks, I'll shoot you a text after my shift. Olivia responded with that winning smile as she tucked my card away. After heading to work, I checked my phone during my break. My heart skipped a beat when I saw her message. Hey, it's Olivia. Hope you're having a great day. I quickly typed back. Thanks for reaching out. You just made my day. That kicked off our daily text exchanges. Sure, we weren't exactly writing poetry to each other, but just being able to chat with her made me ridiculously happy. Between our text conversations and my occasional visits when she was working, we steadily grew closer. Eventually, I gathered my courage and took another step forward. Hey, would you maybe want to grab a drink sometime when you're free? I asked. I'd love that, she replied enthusiastically, her face lighting up. I was thrilled at how naturally things were progressing between us, and I found myself wanting to know everything about her. Olivia had this incredible way about her, always warm, kind, and beautiful, with this amazing ability to make everyone around her feel at ease. We synced up our schedules and met for drinks. It was my first time seeing her out of her work uniform, and I was blown away by how stunning she looked in casual clothes. The conversation flowed effortlessly, and time seemed to fly by. Every time she smiled, the whole room seemed to get a little brighter, and my heart would do this little dance in my chest. The drinks must have given me a bit of liquid courage because I found myself asking, "So, Olivia, are you seeing anyone?" "Me? No, not at the moment," she replied. "That's surprising. You seem like such a catch." She blushed at my comment, giving me a shy smile. "Well," Olivia sighed, her expression turning somber. "The thing is, my relationships never seem to last. I keep thinking there must be something wrong with me. I mean, I can hold a conversation. I don't have any major red flags. I try to be positive and kind, and I don't think I'm particularly difficult to get along with. That's for sure. You seem pretty amazing to me, I said, genuinely curious. Olivia hesitated, biting her lip before continuing carefully. Can I tell you something personal? Of course, I replied, my expression growing serious. Well, her voice quivered slightly. Every time I spend the night with someone, they end up ghosting me afterward. Wait, what? I asked, completely caught off guard. She gave me a rueful smile and continued, yeah, it's like clockwork. And believe me, I've tried asking what went wrong, but no one ever gives me a straight answer. From my perspective, everything seems totally normal, but there must be something off about me. Her eyes clouded with sadness. It's gotten to the point where I'm scared to even try dating anymore. That's how I ended up single at 41, never married, not even a steady boyfriend. She let out an awkward laugh as she finished speaking. Is this too heavy for you? She asked. Not at all. But I've got to admit, I'm really curious about what could possibly be happening. Getting ghosted after every intimate encounter? I wasn't put off by her confession. If anything, it made me more intrigued. Either these guys were overreacting or underreacting to something. But judging by her sweet smile and gentle nature, I couldn't imagine her doing anything too outlandish. Following this train of thought, I playfully suggested, hey, maybe I could help solve this mystery? What if I tried to figure it out? I'm serious, I said, meeting her eyes with genuine curiosity. Um, Olivia hesitated, ducking her head slightly. I really want to know what's going on, and I think I could help you figure it out, I pressed, keeping my expression earnest. Olivia seemed to mull it over for a moment, chewing her lip thoughtfully before looking up to meet my gaze directly. You promise you'll tell me what the problem is? Absolutely, you have my word, I replied confidently. Well, Olivia's cheeks flushed pink. You're a good guy, Brody, and definitely my type. So, okay, help me solve this mystery. Leaving the bar together, there was a palpable tension in the air as we walked to a nearby hotel. Once in the room, we both felt slightly awkward, unsure of what would happen next. I think I'll grab a quick shower, Olivia said softly, her voice betraying her nervousness. Sure, go ahead, I replied, trying to sound casual. As she disappeared into the bathroom, I took a deep breath to steady myself. Stay cool, I thought. Though it had been a while since I'd been intimate with someone, I tried to stay relaxed. After we had both showered, we sat next to each other on the bed in silence. I'm a little nervous, Olivia admitted with a shy smile that made my heart skip a beat. She looked absolutely stunning, her face still flushed from the shower, and I could feel my pulse quickening. When she reached for my hand, I gently took it, our fingers naturally intertwining. Without a word, Olivia moved to sit in my lap, wrapping her arms around me. The feeling of her body against mine was intoxicating, and I instinctively pulled her closer. As we began to kiss, the atmosphere grew more intense with each passing moment. Suddenly, her demeanor shifted as she gestured to my robe and commanded, "Take it off." Her tone caught me completely off guard. The sweet, gentle Olivia had been replaced by someone altogether different, with an almost dangerous edge to her smile. What happens if I don't? I asked, though I already knew the answer from her expression. Then you'll have to be punished, she replied with a smirk that sent shivers down my spine. Yes. I found myself saying, quickly removing my robe. She traced her fingers across my skin with deliberate slowness, making my breath catch. Now, what should I do with you? She asked, her smile now decidedly wicked. Though I was thrown off balance by this new side of her, I couldn't deny how much it turned me on. I stammered out a request for her touch, realizing she had completely dominant tendencies. This was definitely new territory for me. I usually preferred being in control. But something about this role reversal was incredibly arousing, creating an exciting tension between my usual preferences and my current desires. She maintained absolute control, restricting my movements entirely. Any attempt to touch her was met with a stern, "Not ready to submit yet," followed by even more intense domination. "Please, I can't take any more," I begged repeatedly, my voice becoming increasingly desperate. The pleasure was overwhelming, and when we finally joined together, she maintained her position of power, looking down at me with that same cold smile while making the most incredible sounds. Something about that expression kept me completely captivated. Being under the control of such a beautiful woman was an entirely new experience, and I was discovering things about myself I never knew. She maintained her dominance until the very end, leaving me completely spent. Afterward, as we caught our breath, she transformed back into her usual sweet self, simply saying that was amazing with a satisfied smile that made my heart race all over again. "Now do you understand?" Olivia asked, her eyes searching mine. "I think I do," I replied with a gentle smile. "Please, tell me what it is," she pressed, leaning forward eagerly. "Well," I chose my words carefully, "I think it might be because you're quite dominant in bed." "Oh." Olivia's eyes widened in surprise. "But I didn't even use any props or anything," she said quietly. "I thought being dominant meant whips and chains, really intense stuff," she added, looking confused. "Am I totally off base here?" I nodded gently, and her expression turned to one of shock. "This was my first time experiencing something like this," I admitted. "Really?" she asked, genuinely surprised. "Yeah, I'm usually the one in charge," I explained, feeling slightly embarrassed. "But honestly, I really enjoyed it. You're usually so sweet and gentle, but when you take control like that, there's just something incredibly sexy about it. The way you look at me, it's intense in the best possible way." "Oh gosh, really?" Olivia laughed nervously. "Was I too intimidating?" "Not intimidating," I said thoughtfully. "More like incredibly sexy." "I don't even know what to say to that," Olivia said with a shy laugh, her cheeks turning pink. After a moment, she added softly, "I guess I'm not exactly normal, huh? No wonder guys kept disappearing." "You might not be conventional," I said sincerely, "but I wouldn't want you any other way." Olivia gave me a gentle, relieved smile. "Thank you," she said softly. "But—" She hesitated before continuing. "Can we try something more traditional? I'd like to experience what a normal relationship is like. Maybe then I'll truly understand what makes me unique." Her eyes were tender and inviting as she spoke. I nodded silently and pulled her close. What followed was more traditional lovemaking, though we found ourselves blurring the lines between conventional and extraordinary. While it might not have been as intense as before, just being with her filled me with pure joy. "So it can be this gentle too," Olivia mused with a soft smile afterward. "Though honestly," I admitted, "I really enjoy your way better." It was my first time experiencing something like that, but I loved following your lead. Her shy smile and response made my heart flutter. We drifted off to sleep talking and holding hands. The next morning, after sharing a light breakfast, it was time to part ways. "Olivia," I started. "Yes," she responded. "I'd love to see you again. Can we keep seeing each other?" Her response was a warm smile that melted my heart. That's the first time anyone's ever said something like that to me. "Thank you. Yes, let's definitely meet again soon." Back home, I couldn't shake the lingering feelings. The memory of her taking control kept sending thrills through me, and I was amazed to discover this new side of myself. We started texting daily and would occasionally run into each other at the convenience store. Every time I saw her, my attraction grew stronger, and I found myself craving more private time together. Soon we were meeting weekly, either at hotels or at one of our places. The contrast between her sweet, everyday persona and her commanding presence in the bedroom was absolutely mesmerizing. As we spent more time together and got to know each other better, I fell harder and harder. On days when she wasn't working at the convenience store, I'd feel this ache in my chest. I'd never missed anyone like this before, never wanted to be with someone so intensely. With Olivia, I just wanted to stay by her side forever and keep experiencing that incredible intimacy. My feelings grew so intense that I couldn't hold them in anymore. During one of our dates, I finally confessed, "Olivia, I love you. Will you be my girlfriend?" Tears welled up in her eyes as she replied, "All my relationships have failed until now, but you've loved me so completely, right from the start. I've been so happy since the day we met. Yes, I'd love to be your girlfriend." Finally, we were officially a couple. As we dated, she continued to amaze me with her thoughtfulness, sweet as can be in everyday life. I was truly, deeply happy with her, and my heart felt complete. But then came some challenging news. "I'm thinking about changing jobs," she told me one day, her expression troubled. "The night shifts at my current job are really taking a toll on me. While I'm job hunting, I probably won't be able to see you as often." "Don't worry about it," I assured her, pulling her into a tight hug as she looked downcast. "We'll make time when we can, and we'll celebrate together once you find a new job." My words seemed to comfort her, but after that, our time together became more limited. Time seemed to stand still when we were apart. "It's just temporary," I kept telling myself, but the separation was killing me. When had I fallen this hard? Sure, our physical chemistry was incredible, but I missed everything about her. Her smile, her laugh, just her presence in my daily life. I'd never experienced love this intense before. During this period, I found myself hanging out more with Jason, who I hadn't seen as much since Olivia and I started dating. One day, he looked at me with concern and asked, "Everything okay with Olivia?" I sighed and explained, "Yeah, she's just busy job hunting, so we can't meet up as often." "I'm trying to be patient." Jason studied my face carefully before breaking into a knowing smile. "Man, you've got it bad. Your whole face lights up when you talk about her. She must be really special. It's written all over your face how much you miss her." I nodded enthusiastically at Jason's words. "You hit the nail on the head. I've never felt this way about anyone before." The thought of losing Olivia, who'd walked into my life during those chance encounters at the convenience store, was unbearable. I decided then and there to plan the perfect proposal once she finished her job search. Though I tried to ease my loneliness by daydreaming about our future together, only intensified how much I missed her. When Olivia finally called to tell me she'd landed a new job, I put my carefully planned proposal into action. I had already picked out the perfect ring and arranged a romantic dinner at her favorite restaurant. After our special evening, filled with candlelight and her favorite wine, we took a moonlit walk through the park where we'd had our first real date. With my heart racing, I got down on one knee. "Olivia, will you marry me? I love you more than anything, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. These past few weeks apart have been torture. I never want to be away from you again." Her eyes widened in surprise, then immediately filled with tears of joy. "Do you really mean that?" "God, thank you. I've been so lonely too. Not being able to see you has been killing me. I couldn't stop thinking about you. This is the first relationship I've had that feels absolutely perfect. No one's ever loved me the way you do. When I first saw you at the store, I thought you were exactly my type, but I was sure you'd end up rejecting me like everyone else. Instead, you've shown me nothing but constant love and acceptance. I love you so much. Yes, yes, I'll marry you." We spent the entire night celebrating our engagement before diving headfirst into wedding preparations. Both our families were thrilled and gave us their wholehearted blessing. Later, I thanked Jason, saying, I might not have had the guts to propose if it weren't for your encouragement. He grinned and replied, I couldn't be happier for you guys. I barely did anything, but don't forget about your old buddy after the wedding. We'll still grab beers now and then, right? Soon after, we tied the knot in a beautiful ceremony surrounded by our loved ones. I felt like the luckiest person alive, having found and married the love of my life. Every day brought new joy, our passion never dimmed, and I constantly thanked my lucky stars for our marriage. Now, 23 years later, we're still going strong. Time may pass, but our love remains as steady as ever. We never miss a chance to express our feelings, and our days are filled with peace and happiness. Having someone you truly love by your side is life's greatest blessing, and I'm grateful for it every single day. I want to keep cherishing Olivia and discovering new depths to our love as we grow older together. Today, we spent some time looking through old photos, reminiscing about how we first met. I wanted to share our story, especially about Olivia's fascinating duality, with all of you. I can't wait to see what adventures life has in store for us next.